Hey guys, Crossroads 4, and today we're going to be talking about the augmented chord. So if you're following along with this, you know that we started at C diminished, which is on the 7th note of a harmonic major scale. In this case it's D flat harmonic major, and we know that B double flat is the 6th note in that scale, and at B double flat we get the augmented chord. The augmented chord repeats itself every 4 frets or major third interval. B double flat is on the 7th fret of the 4th string. D flat is on the 6th fret on the 3rd string, and F is on the 6th fret on the 2nd string. 1, major third, sharp 5, B double flat, augmented. Now here's the really cool stuff, and this comes from the Martino idea. Just like in the videos earlier on, I showed you that the diminished chord, if you flatten any one of those notes you get a dominant 7. Well, similarly, if we've got an augmented chord and we flatten any one of those notes, we get a major chord. So if I lower B double flat, the next note in the scale is A flat, and that gives us D flat major, which is the parent scale. If we do the same thing and lower the middle note, which is D flat, to C is the next note in the scale, F major. So the next note is F, and we're going to lower that, and we get this. B double flat major. Okay, so from our augmented chord, which is B double flat augmented, D flat major, F major, B double flat major. So 3 major chords. So the harmonic major scale is a scale that just keeps giving. This augmented chord, if we lower any one of its 3 notes, we get 3 majors, but if we raise any one of the 3 notes in the augmented chord, we get 3 minors. So B double flat augmented, B flat minor, B double flat augmented, D minor, B double flat augmented, G flat minor. Now I know you're all smart out there and you figured out that the major and minors are both their relatives. What do I mean by that? D flat major, B flat minor. B flat minor is a relative minor of D flat major. F major, D minor is the relative minor of F major. That's B double flat major. G flat minor is the relative minor of B double flat major. Now we start to see how this fits together. B flat minor, B double flat, augmented, D flat major, augmented, minor, augmented, major. And the same thing happens, F major, B double flat augmented, D minor, B double flat augmented, F major, B double flat augmented, and D minor. And the same's true when we get to B double flat major, B double flat augmented, G flat minor. So we can see it's like 3 different key centres all working at the same time. This is like, I said that the diminished chord was a crossroads, but this is also like almost a junction, the augmented chord, because you go one way you get majors, go the other way you get minors, and obviously it's the in-between. Now those majors and minors obviously come from the major scale, not the harmonic major scale, but the regular major scale. So what we're doing, we're going between the major scale when we do, say for example, B flat minor, down to D major. That's all in, those two chords will be in the D flat major scale. The one in between, the augmented, B double flat augmented, is when you've switched over to the harmonic major scale, which has got the flat 6. I know this is probably pretty obvious to you, but it just needs to be explained out. And like I said, we've got these 3 different majors with their relative minors all occurring off of this augmented chord. It's pretty amazing. Hopefully you can see this. In the centre here, this is our augmented chord. B double flat, D flat and F. Root, major third, sharp 5. Lower this down, a semitone, we get the D major chord, because A flat is obviously the 5th of D flat and F is the 3rd of D flat major. If we similarly raise it up to B flat, we get B flat minor. B flat is the root, D flat is the flat 3 and F is the 5. B flat minor is the relative of D flat major. If we lower the middle note, B flat to C, this will give us F major, because F is the root, C is the 5th, and A, or B double flat, is actually a flat 4, but A, flat 4 and a major third are the same thing, so that's why we get F major. And if we continue on, D flat and raise that up to D, this gives us D minor, D being the root, F being the flat 3, A being the 5. Lastly, with the F, when we lower F to F flat, this is where we get our B double flat major. B double flat being the root, D flat being the 3rd, and F flat being the 5th. I've also put the enharmonic notes in there. A, C sharp is the 3rd, and E is the 5th, so that's A major. Okay, so when we raise the root, F becomes G flat, and we can see G flat is the root, D flat is the 5th, and B double flat is the flat 3rd. So that's G flat minor. I've also put it's F sharp minor, F sharp, C sharp is the 5th, and A is the flat 3rd. I've had people say to me, you know, why are we doing this in D flat harmonic major, like D flat with B double flat? It's very confusing, and yes it is. Basically it's because I started at C diminished, that predicted that we had to be in D flat harmonic major. Okay, so if we slide up that major 3rd interval 4 frets, we're now at D flat augmented. D flat being the root, F being the 3rd, B double flat being the flat 6. So just like before, if I lower the D flat to C, we get F major. If we lower the middle note, which is F, to F flat, we get B double flat major. And lastly, if we lower the B double flat to A flat, that's the 5th of D flat major. You can see these new chords are just the same, they're inversions of what we did before. F, D flat, B double flat, and obviously we've got the relative minors. If we have D flat and raise it to D, D minor, relative to F. Raise the middle note up, the F, to G flat, and we get G flat minor. Lastly, if we raise up that B double flat to B flat, we get B flat minor. Okay, so I've got to show you the third one now. So we're starting on that F. F, B double flat, D flat. If we lower F to F flat, B double flat major. If we lower the middle note, B double flat, to A flat, we get D flat major. If we take the D flat on the B string and lower that to C, we get F major. Okay, we raise the F to G flat minor. If we raise the middle note, B double flat to B flat minor. Lastly, if we raise that D flat to D, we get D minor. Okay guys, so we've got the circle of fifths again, like before. We've got the augmented triangle within that, which is an equilateral triangle, which symbolises balance. Some people call it the Trinity. But let's just look at that. This is our point of reference. We know this is the augmented chord we're working from, B double flat. So it's got a root, which is B double flat. It's got a major third, which is D flat, and it's got a sharp 5, which is F. Reference from D flat now. We've got D flat, F is a major third, but B double flat is a flat 6. Let's now use F as our reference point. F is a root. B double flat is a flat 4, which sounds the same as a major third, but it's a flat 4. And similarly, D flat is a flat 6. So you can start to see the relationship here. If you just use the triangle and just call that an augmented triangle, yeah, it's an augmented triangle, but how does that fit in with scales, with major scales? How are you referencing this? It's not something just in isolation, it's actually part of a big system, which is, you know, I'm going to show you that. Okay guys, we're using D flat harmonic major again, just like before. It's just the same as a major scale with one note difference, the flat 6, which I've indicated here with this green circle. That's where we get our augmented from, is, you know, from the flat 6. The next line I've filled in is all the modes: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian and Locrian. But also underneath that is the modifications. This is obviously D harmonic major, which has got a flat 6. So it's an Ionian flat 6, makes it a Dorian flat 5, Phrygian flat 4, Lydian flat 3, Mixolydian flat 2, Aeolian flat 1, and a Locrian flat 7. Now on this, when I say flat 1, remember this music is moving. This was coming from the major scale, which would be B flat, would be the major. D flat major would have B flat, but now it's lowered the root to B double flat, and that's what gives us the augmented, which is a root, a sharp 2, a major third, a sharp 4, sharp 5, a major 6 and a major 7. Also note Phrygian flat 4, and if we look at this, remember the triangle, 1, 3, flat 6 working from D flat. Okay, the next line is all the formulas for these modes. An Ionian flat 6 is obviously a major scale with flat 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7. Dorian flat 5 is a 1, 2, a flat 3, a 4, a flat 5, a 6 and a flat 7. The Phrygian flat 4 is a 1, a flat 2, a flat 3, a flat 4, a 5, a flat 6 and a flat 7. The Lydian, which is usually major, this one's got a flat 3, so it's a 1, a 2, a flat 3, a sharp 4, a 5, a 6 and a 7. The next one we got here is a Mixolydian. It's just a Mixolydian flat 2, so it's a root, a flat 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. And then, like I said before, the Aeolian with a flat root now turns this into something completely different, which is an augmented, which is a 1, a sharp 2, a major third, a sharp 4, a sharp 5, major 6 and a major 7. Lastly on the Locrian, we've got the root, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, double flat 7 because it's a Locrian, which already has a flat 7 and a flat 7, so it's a double flat 7. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we know D flat is an augmented from the triangle. If we look at the formula, we've got a 1, a major third and a flat 6, which gives us an augmented. I'd like to skip over here just for a second because we did the diminished in earlier videos, which is a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a double flat 7. Now, bearing that in mind, come back to the Dorian flat 5. Dorian flat 5 has a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a major 6. A major 6 and a double flat 7 and the same thing. So this is where you get the diminished skipping along and also the augmented skipping along. Let's continue on now. The Phrygian with a flat 4. 1, flat 4 and a flat 6 gives you an augmented because a flat 4 is the same as a major third. Continuing on, we've got a Lydian, but this Lydian is special because it's got a flat 3. So a 1, a flat 3, a sharp 4, which is the same as a flat 5, and a major 6, which is the same as a double flat 7. I know this is confusing, but just stick with it. It's like once you start to see this and work on it, it will make sense. The one place we don't have a diminished or an augmented is the Mixolydian flat 2. It's a dominant chord, it's just not there. Continuing on, obviously we know the augmented is a 1, a 3 and a sharp 5. That, it figures out here. Okay, so I told you in the video that the augmented chord repeats itself every major third interval, which is 4 frets. So 4 into 12 goes 3 times, and we got it. On the 1 we got augmented, on the 3 we got augmented, on the flat 6 we got augmented, so we got that. In the earlier video I told you the diminished, it repeats itself every 3 frets, which is a minor third interval, but 3 into 12 goes 4 times, but we got diminished, diminished, diminished. If we look closely here, 1, sharp 2 is the same as a flat 3, sharp 4 is the same as a flat 5, major 6 is the same as a double flat 7, and voila, there's our diminished that's been hiding all the time. So on this one chord, we've got a diminished and an augmented, on this part of the scale I should say. We've got, it houses a diminished and an augmented. So we've got our augmented chord, B double flat, we've got a 1, a major third and a sharp 5. And usually it'd just be the octave. If we put that in 4-part harmony, it'll be the major 7. Similarly, if we use the sharp 2, the augmented second, we get this. Spy chords. Okay, so I thought to myself, a 1, a 3 and a flat 6, which is an augmented chord, is that going to be the same as a 1, a 3 and a sharp 5, which I've indicated here with the green? Okay, so we've obviously got a 1, a 2, a 3, a sharp 5, a 6 and a 7 because there's an Ionian sharp 5. In the Dorian, we've got a 1, a 2, a flat 3, we've got a sharp 4 is different, a 5, a 6 and a flat 7. Now here the Phrygian, as I pointed out, sharp 3, Phrygian has a minor third usually, it's a 1, a flat 2 and a flat 3, but here we're just going to raise that, which basically makes it a major third, 4, 5, flat 6 and flat 7. So you can see this has actually gone from a minor to a dominant chord because it's that major third has made this into a dominant. So you can see it's going from minor, it's actually getting brighter. This one, similarly, the Lydian with a sharp 2. Sharp 2 is the same as a flat 3. It sounds the same, it's got a different name. 1, sharp 2 and a major third. So minor third, major third, you know the blues, that whole thing about playing major and minor thirds against each other, well, it's right in this scale. It's got a sharp 4, it's got a 5, a 6 and a 7. And this one's really interesting because when you raise that root up, you basically flatten everything. So you get a root, a flat 2, a flat 3, a flat 4, a flat 5, a flat 6 and a double flat 7. So that's a Locrian flat 4, double flat 7, or a super Locrian flat 4. Once again, Locrian is a minor mode, but that flat 4 is going to make that into dominant. Okay, so the Aeolian, we know the Aeolian usually has a flat 7. This time we've got a raised 7, so we've got a 1, a 2, a flat 3, a 4, a 5, a flat 6 and a major 7. When you get a flat 6 and a major 7, you've actually got the harmonic minor scale right there. And lastly, we've got the Locrian with a sharp 6. Basically, Locrian usually starts off with a flat 6. All you're doing is putting a major 6 into there. Let's do a quick comparison. We've got a 1, a 3 and a sharp 5 gives us an augmented. A 1, a 3 and a flat 6 gives us an augmented. We've got a 1, a flat 3, a sharp 4 and a major 6 gives us a diminished. And we've got a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a major 6 gives us a diminished. Next one, we've got a 1, a 3 and a flat 6, which we know gives us an augmented. We've got a 1, a flat 4 and a flat 6, which also gives us an augmented. So we're starting to see comparisons here. Then we've got a diminished, which is 1, a sharp 2, a sharp 4 and a major 6 gives us a diminished. Similarly, we've got a 1, a flat 3 and a sharp 4 and a major 6 gives us a diminished. Here we've got a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a double flat 7 because that's the actual diminished. But also on that point we've got a 1, a flat 4 and a flat 6 which gives us an augmented. So once again in two positions here we've got augmented and diminished, just like we did here, augmented and diminished. And lastly here on the Locrian sharp 6 we've got a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a major 6 because that's the Locrian sharp 6 gives us a diminished. Above we had a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5 and a double flat 7 that gave us the, because it was a Locrian double flat 7. So a Locrian double flat 7 is like a Locrian sharp 6, similar. There's similarities, so you can see what's happening here. Okay, so we can see our parent scale is D flat harmonic major. It's gone from the major scale, we've got a flat 6, so it's changing, it's getting gradually darker, it's going from a major, it's heading towards a minor, just with the flat 6, that's the start of it. When we get to the third would usually be a minor mode, which is Phrygian, but this is a Phrygian flat 4, which indicates that the minor has got dark enough that now, flattening that 4 has given it equivalent of a major third, so it's going to start, that's now a dominant chord, it's becoming brighter. So this one's getting darker, this one's getting a little bit brighter, and this one is the actual augmented, which is super bright because it's got a sharp 2, a sharp 4, a sharp 5. It's like it's pulling really bright. So these augmented chords are much like suspended chords. They indicate there's a change, there's a suspension, it's going from one state or one place to another. So now I've added in the D flat Ionian sharp 5 scale, which I showed you before. This means that we've got a root, a third and a sharp 5, and that's, you know, accurate this time. D flat, F is a major third, A, the note A, not B double flat, but A is the sharp 5, B double flat is a flat 6. Now I know it's the same frequency, but you won't see this if you just read notes on a stave or anything. You need to see how these things work against each other. Moving on, this time the third F, we've got a Phrygian, but in both cases it's a Phrygian mode. In the first case it's a Phrygian flat 4, so it's coming from a 4, it's flattening this way. In this mode it was, you know, the Phrygian has a minor third, but now we've raised that up to make it a major third. So you can see this mode is coming from a flat third up to a major third. This one is coming from a flat 4 down to a flat, from a normal 4 to a flat 4, which is like a major third. So you can see it's coming from different directions. Lastly, when we get over here, this was obviously on this instance, B double flat was the root, but this time A is the root because it's a sharp 5, not a flat 6. So there is a difference with all of this. There wouldn't be if you were playing, you'd say, well, it's the same note, it sounds the same, yes, but you're never going to see the patterns within this stuff unless you do this, you know, you see these changeovers, like I'm showing you how these things are going. This is a minor mode that's going dominant, it's coming brighter. This is, in this instance, this is an augmented that's getting really bright. Now, although we've got an augmented here, A is the root, D flat is a flat 4, which sounds like a major third, and F is a flat 6. So that's going to give us this augmented just the same as this. But then when we look at this mode in comparison, this is augmented and all bright. This mode, actually, if you looked at it, you'd think this was absolutely as flat as you could get. everything in there is flat. You got it's a Locrian with a flat 4 and a double flat 7. So it's a really diminished. So you've got diminished and augmented happening here at the same time. Now I've given you a direct connection between a harmonic major scale, which is basically a major with a flat 6, or a major with a sharp 5, and that facilitates the augmented jumping every 4 frets and the diminished jumping every 3 frets, but you can see the scale is underneath there to support this. In this case it's D flat harmonic major scale. Okay, so you're probably thinking this has got nothing to do with the blues, the diminish and the augmented, but it really does. At the end I will tie all this in. I've got some, you know, it's going to take 2 or 3 more of these lessons to show you, but I'll tie it all in and then it'll make sense at the end. So thanks for sticking with it. I'm sure it's blown your brains out.